What situation will always be awkward? When you're with a group of friends, and there's a topic of conversation, and in the middle of laughs, you start telling a story that is relevant, but people don't pay attention to the beginning of it, so they start talking about something else, and you slowly fades out your voice, so they don't notice that you were talking to nobody. When you're telling a story, and you realize midway through how horrible it's going and how worse it's getting with each word, yet you press onward hoping that by some miracle the ending will make it all worthwhile, even though deep down you know only the sweet release of death could save you from the awkward moment following it all. Asking non-pregnant women when they're due. I was on a bus. There was a girl standing on my side that looked pregnant. I got up and offered the seat to her. She asked if I thought she was pregnant because she wasn't. I said no, I was just going to get out of the bus. I got out of the bus. Had to wait 1 hour for the next one. The left-hanging high five. You can't cover that shit. Abort. That's when you use your imaginary comb and slick your hair back and everyone thinks you're the coolest person ever, so you're forced to live the next 60 years of your life constantly being the cool guy until one day you can't take it anymore and you confess to your wife that you aren't actually cool and she files for divorce and you're left as a withered husk of a man who lived a lie his entire life, and you end up with nothing to show for your poor pathetic excuse of a life. Seeing someone you sort of know in the doctor's waiting room. You have to sit by them but neither of you can ask the only obvious question, why are you here? This happened to my girlfriend with my mum when we'd only been going out a few months. Saw each other and my mum asks, "Oh, why are you here? Is everything okay?" My girlfriend said, "I'm not ill, I'm here to get the pill," to which my mum replied, "Oh right. At least you're not going to get pregnant," and they just sat there in silence. I hate the obnoxiously loud shutter sound. Oh fuck. What did the professor just say? Fuck, why did I have to play 2048 in class? Okay, be cool. Just take a picture of the PowerPoint slide. Be chill about it, keep your phone low. Angle it. Yeah. Just like that. Click shutter sound motherfucking click. Or, son of a. Last week I had to go to the doctor and there was a lady standing in front of me. As she finished signing her forms she gave the receptionist back her pen, and said thank you to her, and because I'm zoning out, I automatically go "You're welcome." She turned around, gave me a WTF look and shuffled off. So that will always be awkward. Failing to hear what somebody has said after repeating it several times. It's too embarrassing on both behalves to keep saying what. So you hope that a nod and slight chuckle will be an appropriate answer to whatever it was they said. Or man, I have the best story for this. I was living in Japan, American male, and put in an apartment with a Scot and a Kiwi. I've never had much of an issue with accents, I've had a lot of foreign professors and friends, so it wasn't much of an issue. One day, I'm sitting in the living room watching a DVD fairly loud with my Scottish roommate cooking in the next room. He says something with his back to me, and I couldn't hear what he said over the DVD. So, I pause it and ask him to repeat. Again, I couldn't hear him over the sound of his food cooking, so I stand up and walk into the kitchen and stand right next to him. Again, I ask him to repeat, which he does, but, this time, I couldn't understand a fucking word he said because of his thicker Scottish accent, so, I just gave up and walked away. Turns out he just wanted to know if I was hungry. Hi gorgeous, how are you? Oh, I'm really well far wow, okay sorry you weren't talking to me ha ha ha, oh no what a time to be alive. Edit, this is the part where I go wow gold thanks I can't believe it. I did that in a public restroom where I thought the lady in the other stall was talking to me when she was actually on her phone. I didn't realize until after I washed my hands, while she was still in the stall, and I went to her door and said, well it was nice talking to you and she didn't respond. I have a similar story. My math tutor and teacher in 9th grade was my first boyfriend's mom. I was already getting tutored by her when I met her son. I took his virginity, he took mine as well, we were 15, and he decides to tell her this info as her and I sit down to do maths together for the next half hour. She was super Christian and hated me after that. I failed math that year but continued to bone her son in an effort to get even. Solution, when they give you the number, read it back to them with the last number incorrect. If they don't pick up on it, no bingo. Calling her out going to solve. Do you think she'll just miraculously be like thank God you passed the 18th and final test before I shall reveal my number? Here it is, my ever-persistent prince. Edit, some people seem to be confused. I always say no first and when they ask why not that's where my example begins. I'm sorry but I think saying no once should be enough, apparently there's some disagreement about that. Man please don't do this shit. I swear guys seem to forget that girls can feel just as socially awkward during these exchanges. You may instantly write me off as a callous bitch, but I have definitely given out fake numbers. If you ask for my number and I politely decline, that's where I would like the conversation to either change or end completely. It never does though? Seriously, never. Not once have I said no sorry, I don't give out my number and had a dude be like oh okay no biggie and move on. There's always some forced power struggle between why I won't give out my number and why I should totally cool on just do it. I have a boyfriend. Why does that matter? Because I'm not interested in going out with you. We can be friends. No I don't think so. What, your boyfriend doesn't let you have friends? No but it would be incredibly inappropriate to give my number to a new friend at a bar. No it wouldn't, come on. At this point my insides are cringing so hard that I could probably break my own spine. I just want to do whatever it takes to make this person leave me alone. Yes, it's passive-aggressive. Yes, it's rude. But the level of my anxiety when you're talking to me distorts my ability to make honorable choices. If I just give you a fake number instead of telling you to leave me alone, you'll walk away feeling accomplished and I will be at peace without getting called a fucking bitch, which happens when you reject drunk assholes. Sure, you'll call me a fucking bitch later in the privacy of your own home when you figure it out, but whatever. I don't do well with confrontation. Please, I'm begging you, if a girl clearly wants you to go away bad enough that you think she might have given you a fake number, take the hint. What is? When a person laughs along with other people and you know they aren't in on the joke. Just skeptical. There's a really obnoxious guy in one of my classes. I'll call him Joe. He's totally clueless. Everyone else in the class thinks he's the most annoying guy ever. One of the things he does is listens to / joins in on everyone's private conversations, so one guy made up an imaginary person called Kevin so he could talk about Joe without Joe knowing. Except, true to form, Joe hopped into that conversation, so now he makes fun of Kevin too, and says stuff like, "Oh my god, if he did that to me I would just tell him to shut the hell up, and wow, he sounds so rude, you have to tell him to mind his own business." And it's like you are literally Kevin. It is you. So that's awkward. Worse when you try to recreate the fart sound and can't, then you end up as a liar and a farter. No, at work there are several people that work in cubicles right outside my office. One day my shoe against the wall made a sound that sounded exactly like a fart. I knew they must have heard it, so I decided to rub my shoe on the wall some more so they would realize the sound was not my ass. The next time I rubbed my shoe on the wall it sounded even more like a fart than the first one, and it was louder. Now they thought I farted twice. I decided to cut my losses. Pretty much any situation involving an ex. That's inadvertently running into an ex. Talking about an ex to a current significant other. There's always some level of awkwardness. You want to keep some element of privacy about the situation. But you never know what the ex might say or do if you come across them. If you're talking about an ex to someone you're dating, you also always want to be careful about what you say so as not to sound too bitter or give them too many ideas that can be generalized. It's never an easy situation. Breaking up with the person you live with. I just found out two of my best friends, who had been dating one another when I met them and living together shortly thereafter, just broke up. They haven't actually told me yet, and they're still living together because, so I've heard, the girl has nowhere to go and can't afford moving at the moment. I was over there the other night, both of them were there. That was awkward as hell. More so because they haven't told me, and I doubt they know I know. It's all kind of awkward in there. Go over there again tonight, and repeatedly ask them about when they're going to get married or have kids or what kind of parents they want to be, etc. Hey, maybe those questions will get them thinking and they end up together again. Or maybe it'll be awkward for them, and hilarious for you. When you run into someone you want to talk to but they are talking to someone else and you stand there waiting for them to finish. Working at a hospital, half of my job is waiting for higher-ups to finish talking about nothing. I work at a hospital as a lowly CNA. I frequently have to wait for someone to get done talking so I can tell them something. I used to just stand around awkwardly and wait for a break in convo. Now I judge what they are talking about and decide if my information is more important than their conversation. If it's medical talk I wait, if it's about their kid's latest soccer game or their new favorite recipe from Pinterest I interrupt them. I was told by a few nurses that when I have something they need to know that I can interrupt their conversation. This one always happens to me at work. I'm walking down a long stretch and a coworker is walking toward me. 30 seconds of silently walking towards someone. How long until you make eye contact? I just focus on one thing until I get close enough to say hello. But I never know if I'm doing it right. Talking to children, I just don't know how to respond. Fuck what other people say, they're basically tiny, inexperienced brothers who don't really ever know what's going on and whose parents generally don't want you to say certain things around them. Hey mom, look, it's hedgehogs for me. Yo dude, what's up? Today me and my friend Jack totally played hockey at recess because Mr. Stevens let us use the sticks but then other people wanted to play basketball because Mr. Stevens said it wouldn't be fair if Kevin and his friends couldn't play basketball but we could play hockey, but he made us stop play to let them play because we only have a basketball court. Man, that sucks. Kevin and Mr. Stevens both sound like jerks. You were totally there first. Yeah, and then they were done, but then recess was over too, so we couldn't play then either. Typical. I just leaned my chair back at my desk and the chair arms rubbed the underside of the desk and let out a dead ringer fart sound. My office administrator is on a conference call behind me. I just turned around and looked at her and said that was my chair. I didn't just fart and realized I broadcasted not only the noise but the explanation to half my head office via speakerphone. I kind of found out something, can't remember where from. Glance at them when you're 5 or so paces away, wait a second or two, if he or she makes eye contact, nod, up for sup or hi, this is an awkward situation, haha, fucking fuckity fuck, and down for respect if it's someone significantly older than you or a lady if you're a guy. Women typically just give a little grin either way for either gender. The acknowledgement of it seems to deflate the situation. If they don't return the gesture if they've made eye contact, turn around and shout fuck you as loudly as you can, or just die a little inside. Either way works. Once I got in the wrong truck after leaving a convenience store. My friend had moved from the gas pump to a parking spot and someone who drove the exact same make, model, and color pulled up to the same pump. I got in the back seat and noticed I was in the wrong truck, then made eye contact with the passenger in the front seat. This girl was fucking terrified. All I could do was say sorry. Wrong truck. About 17 times and get the hell out as fast as possible. My friends watched the whole thing from the correct truck laughing their asses off. When you go to shake someone's hand and you only were able to latch onto a small awkward part of their hand for the shake. This is actually their fault for clasping too early. People, listen, clasp only when the web of your thumbs touch. Web to web. Edit, I just realized op is the premature in claspy later. Shame, op. Shame. You need to modify your technique. Once I changed my angle of approach, I was much happier with my hand shaking life. The key is to not approach it like you're docking a spaceship, you're not going to slide your hands together. You need to lead with the webbing of your thumb and flank their hand. This way the first point of contact is at the base of their thumb and you can then engage the rest of the hand into a firm and steady clasp. Then you initiate the single shake and release. When you're leaving a gathering with someone else, who knows everyone better than you, and they hug the girls that they know prior to leaving and give their guy friends an obnoxious handshake pull them in hug thing. And then it's your turn and you kinda feel obligated to match his goodbye, but you aren't sure who the guys are, or if they girls even want to be hugged. So you just give an awkward bye as you're already turning and putting your head down. For me, talking. Just talking. I always manage to fuck up somehow. Mumble over words, or say the wrong word, or forget to say words. I'm just terrible at it. For instance, last night I was trying to get change for the car wash. I walked up to Thai cashier and said, "Can I get changed for the car wash?" The guy hardly noticed and took my money, then gave me change, but I noticed it and that was enough. bumping into someone at the grocery store and saying goodbye, then seeing them in every aisle after that. Me and my friend Steven made a joke of this, haha. We both happened to be in Ross and I hadn't seen him in a while, so he saw me and I was like, oh my god, Steven. So I went to go give him a bro hug. We chilled for a little and I told him see you later man and went about my shit. Like 2 minutes later I see him in the same aisle and I go, oh my god. Steven? Yelling the name of your friend at a store only to realize it's not them. Was once driving through my street, was sitting in the passenger seat, and saw my best friend riding his bike a bit further. Asked driver to slow down, and rolled down my window. When we passed him, I started leaning out of the window and screamed Blarge in his ear, only to pass him, and seeing it wasn't my best friend. The guy thought it was pretty funny though, besides the fact he almost died from a heart attack, he was actually laughing. Similarly, when I'm at work and people ask for extra napkins or plastic utensils, I habitually say thank you when handing them over. Like, they're just taking free shit from me, why am I thanking them? You're thanking them for being a patron of your establishment and paying your wage. You can never say it enough. I end literally every interaction at work with thank you. End of a transaction. Thank you. Pointing out the napkin dispenser. Thank you. Someone asks me to throw out their trash through the drive-thru. Thank you. I bring empty trays to the dish room to be washed. Thank you. I do it so much that other people at work thank me every time I talk to them. I don't know or care if they're making fun of me, I refuse to be the worker who isn't polite to customers because I'm not in the habit. When you're walking in a mall and the beat of the music matches your steps. Oh God, everyone is looking at you? You're walking to the music like you're in some kind of music video, but you're not cool enough for that, so what are you doing? You try to change your pace slightly, to fix the problem, but doing so looks a bit funny. It always turns out that you just can't change fate as your steps once again move to the music's rhythm. Tears movie ticket for admission. Enjoy the movie. You too. Working at a theater, I actually love this, it makes my day every time. Don't feel too embarrassed when this happens, it's a normal reaction and people do it all the time, and I guarantee the person who said it isn't thinking what an idiot, they just get a good chuckle and continue on to have a way better shift, and will remember you as the person that got them to authentically smile.